Hi there. In this video, I'm going to start turning these ideas into a bit more of an arrangement. As I mentioned before, this is going to be my chorus section. So I'm actually going to rename this over in the scene. So I'll right click on the scene, go down to rename, I'm going to call this chorus. Again, I'm just going to give this a colour to make it even easier to see. Right, let's just play back what we've got so far. Remember, I've got my global quantization set to 4 bars now. So the next clip or scene will start playing at the start of the next 4-bar cycle. So that sounds fine, but I want there to be a bit more variation between the intro and the chorus section. So something I've thought about doing is just changing the pitch of the arpeggio part. So I'm going to open up this arpeggio clip. So now what I'm going to do is select all of my notes in this clip. So I'm going to make sure that I've selected the MIDI note area. So I'm just going to click on a blank space here. And now I'm going to press Command A or Control A on Windows to select all of the notes. Now I want to move all of these down 1 octave. So I could click and drag them down. So they're at F3, and I could drag all the way down to F2. But a quick shortcut to do so is holding Shift and pressing the down arrow on your keyboard. See there, they've jumped down a whole octave. If you want to move notes up or down individual semitones, you can do so with the arrow keys. But here I wanted to jump a whole octave. Right, now this is different to my other arpeggio part. I'm just going to rename this and change the colour. So I'm just going to give it a yellow colour and then rename it arpeggio low. So arp low. Right, let's hear it now. Okay, that's a little bit more interesting. It's only a slight change, but it can help. Right, so we've got a bit of an introduction and a bit of a chorus part. Now I'm going to create a verse part. Let's just first rename this scene so it says introduction. I'm just going to put intro. Right, so the first thing I want to do is duplicate the drum part. So I'm going to go to this clip here, right click on it and select duplicate. Now I'm going to change the colour again. I'm going to rename it verse drums. Then hit enter. Right, as the chorus is going to be the bigger section of the song, I'm just going to simplify this drum part. So I'm just going to delete all of my hi-hats. So I'm going to select that note, press backspace. Then I also want to delete my claps and my snares. I think I'll delete the rim shots too. Let's just listen to that back on its own. So I'm going to stop all clips and press play. Okay, it sounds a little bit bare at the moment, so I'm just going to add a rim shot where the snare was. So that's on beat 3 of each bar. I'm just going to access my draw tool as it can be a bit quicker. Right, let's play that back again. Now I'm going to add a part for the bass. I'm not actually going to duplicate this clip as I want to make quite a different bass line. This time I'm just going to play some long held notes. So I'm going to double click to create a new clip and start drawing them in. Okay, I'm going to do an 8-bar loop once again. So I'll go to the left hand side here and change the length to 8 bars. So I'll click and type in 8 and hit enter. I'm going to change my grid setting as well, as I know I want quite long notes. So I'm just going to change it to half a bar. The first note I want is C1. So I'm just going to double click here to draw in C. And I'm going to stretch it out so it's 1 bar in length. I'm going to draw a G at the start of bar 2. And then an F here. Something else I'm going to do is just turn on the scale mode so I know that I'm using notes that are in the correct key. Great. Now this F note, I'm going to pull it out all the way to the start of bar 5. Just draw a few more notes in here. Again, feel free to copy these if you want to follow along. So I wanted quite a different bass part to give the verse quite a lot of variation compared to the chorus. I'm just going to rename this now, so right click and then rename it and change colour. Right, let's listen back to this scene with the drums and bass together. That sounds fine, but I just want to delete the simple part. Now I'm just going to add a new instrument, so I've got a harmonic or chordal part in this verse section of the song. So I'm going to right click here, select Insert MIDI track, and then I'm going to go and choose an instrument. So I'll go to the browser, going to go Packs, Core Library. Again, you can use any instrument in your browser, but I'm just trying to use the core library so most people can follow along. I'm going to go down to Racks in the core library, Instrument Racks, and I want to choose a guitar sound. Okay, I like this one here, Oscillation Guitar. So I'm going to drag that over to my new MIDI track. Right, I want to play this along with my verse parts, so I'm going to hit play on this scene, and then pause it. Now, when I hit record, I'll have a bar count in, and I'll be able to start recording in my part. One thing I'm going to do though, is just go to Edit, and make sure I've got Record Quantization on, as it just makes it a bit easier. This time, I'm going to use quarter note quantization. Okay, so I didn't play that in very well at all, but the automatic quantization has got it most of the way there. I want each of these notes to start half a bar later, so I'm going to select them all. And drag them over. One thing you can do, if you don't want to hear the MIDI notes being triggered whenever you click on them, just disengage the headphone icon, as this will mean you can move the notes without hearing anything. Right, now I've got that idea in, I'm just going to copy these notes down to create a harmony. So I'm going to select these ones, then I'll use the copy drag feature, so that's Option and drag or Control and drag on Windows. I'm just going to copy this note as well. Right, let's just listen to this back. Listening back, I think I should move these notes up an octave. So I'm going to press Command A to select all of the notes, then use the shortcut Shift and up arrow to move them up an octave. I'm just going to tidy up the length of some of these notes. Now let's listen back once more. Listening back, I've just noticed I've got a very wrong note there, so I'm going to turn scale mode back on and see which note is out. This note here isn't in the correct scale, so I'm going to move it up to the right note. Right, I'll play it back once more. Okay, that sounds better. I'm just going to add a couple more notes to this part. So I'm just going to draw a G in here and a C up here. Right, I'm going to have this repeating twice every bar. So I'm just going to make it a bit longer and duplicate it. So I held down Option to copy that note over. Now I'm going to do the same again with these two notes. And I'll highlight all these notes and do the same. And then do it once more. Now we've got the full 8-bar loop. One thing to note, when you record, make sure your loop is exactly 8 bars. I got lucky there and it ended at the right point, but just type in 8 here and you'll know it's the correct length. Okay, let's listen to this back once more. Right, I quite like that, but I want these notes to be a touch shorter, and I'm going to reduce the velocity. So when all of them are selected, I'll just pull the velocity down on one of them, and they'll all do the same. Okay, great. We've now got an intro, a chorus, and a verse section. Again, these are just ideas for the moment, but I'm just going to play these back in a vague arrangement. So I'm going to stop all clips and then play through. I'm just going to turn down the guitar volume because it was very loud. Okay, there we have a vague arrangement. We had an introduction, a chorus, a verse, another chorus, and then the intro I used as an outro. So as you can see there, it's really easy to start coming up with song ideas when working with clips and scenes. I didn't just have to use the scene buttons there, but I wanted to keep things simple for now. If you like, you can try bringing in other parts in different sections of your song. So partway through the verse section, I could have brought the chorus drums in to make the verse lift up a little. But it's completely up to you. That's one of the great things about playing with clips in Ableton. It's a really fun way of creating music. So we've been looking at MIDI for quite a long time now. It can be a little bit more complicated to get your head around than audio, but I'm going to move back to audio now, and we're going to start looking at using audio loops and then later recording audio. Thanks for watching.